Hello, welcome to Smartboard 101. I'm your host, Robert Rocha. I'm an instructional technology specialist with the Paso Independent School District. In our recent video segments, we've been talking about the Smart Response System. We would talk about how to set up your class, how to author different examinations within that, and today we're going to continue on how to author our examinations. In the first part of our segment, we're going to be talking about how to import a Word document that you already have into Smart Response. So let's say you had a test that you already had pre-created and you wanted to put that in your Smart Response system. You can go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you that process. Or if, let's say, you had access to ExamView, you can also import XML files within the authoring piece. In the last segment of our show today, we'll be talking about how to create your own examinations where you go and type in your own answers and maybe add your own pictures if you wanted to go and do that within the Smart Notebook software. So let's go back to our computer and look and see what we have. So let me go back over here. And the first thing I want to go and look at is to see if I have a Word document. Now that Word document can either be a .doc or it can be a .docx that can be imported within the Smart Notebook or the Smart Response / Smart Notebook feature. Now when I do that, I'm going to open up my practice quiz here, and because we need to follow a certain format that's there. And notice on the very top piece here of my option, let me kind of blow it up so we can see this a little bit better, is the way I have this set up now is I have the title Practice Quiz Response. So that's going to be an actual title of my quiz in Smart Response. And then down below here, I have my first question. And on my first question, I have a number 1 and a period and then a space. And then, of course, I have my actual question that I have. Now, down below, when I put my answers in, notice that they were tabbed over, and I'm using lowercase letters. If you follow this particular format, you won't have any issues importing the document within Smart Notebook. It'll actually go ahead and it'll import directly without any problems. If the formatting is off and not as particular as this, you may run into different issues that you may have to go and clean up a little bit later. So the process is always do the hard work first to make the things easier at the end. So I did the hard work of setting up my file the way I needed to. And again, look up question number 2. It says, it has a question there, but it doesn't have an ABC. It just says yes or no. And notice there's a capital yes or a capital Y and a capital N for no. And the same holds true for question number 3. It's a true-false question, and notice it does say capital T or capital F for true-false on that particular piece there. It doesn't make as much, it's not as important to have true-false capitalized within the actual question set, but the first letter should always be capitalized in a sentence. So now that I know my file looks good, I'm ready to import it into my Smart Notebook / Responder software. So I'm going to go ahead and close up my file, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my Smart Notebook. I'm going to go ahead and go to my computer screen over here, my actual smartboard, and do it there. So I'm going to click on my Smart Notebook file, which I had already opened up. And once it's opened up here, I'm going to click on the response menu file. So when I click on this response menu file, it opens it up. I'm going to kind of blow that up a little bit so you can kind of see, just for reference again, that I have insert a question, all those different pieces that I want to look at. But notice as I go down below in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the 6th box, it says import questions from. And when I do that, I'm back here to my regular size screen. And we always get a little bit of unexpected behavior, and that's okay. Go back here, my Smart Response. I'm going to go to import, and I can choose from a Microsoft Word or an XML file. Now, I'm going to show you today the actual Microsoft Word, but if you have ExamView, a lot of the ExamView files are actually XML files, so you could import those ExamView files into Smart Response, and you won't have any issues with that because I believe they're already formatted to work correctly within Smart Responder. So I'm going to choose Word document, Microsoft Word. And when I open up my menu screen here, it's going to ask me where my particular files are located at. But in addition, what it also asks me down here below is on my Word document, I can either click on a .doc, and on the drop-down menu, and I can't get the drop-down menu to open up right now, but on the drop-down menu, I can also choose a .docx. So if I have a later version of 2007, 2010 of Word, I can also import that directly. But I have to choose it first before I can actually start looking for my file. So I'm going to go ahead and escape this screen here. And I know that my file is within my desktop, so I'm going to click on Desktop. And there it is, Practice Quiz Smart Notebook. So I'm going to click on that. There I go, it's highlighted. I'm going to click on Open. And it's importing my file that I have here. And import successful, successfully completed. I'm going to click OK. And to verify that everything worked out properly, I'm going to go ahead and click on my Page Sorter tab. And notice when I did that, it automatically put my question that I had up there, my actual title of my quiz. I wanted to fill out the rest of the information I could. As I go down and go to my next page in my file, it has my question set that's there, all of my answers. And let me blow that up for you a little bit so you can see that. So when I go back to my computer screen, and I want to see that very well, there I go. I can now see my question. Actually, it went ahead and imported it properly. Everything looks great there. Now notice here that when I imported it, even though I mentioned that you had to use a lowercase letter to the import, it automatically changed it over to capital A. It makes it much easier if you always start with the lowercase letters. At least that's been my experience with using the Smart Response system. So let me escape that there. And so now I've authored a test. So the last thing that I need to do, or the next thing I need to do actually now, is once I put this hard work of importing my test, I want to go ahead now and save that file. So I want to go back to my computer screen. I want to click on File and go to Save As, and I'm going to name this Practice Quiz. And once I have that practice quiz, I want to save that to my desktop so I can find it much quicker again. I'm going to click on Save. And now if I minimize my screen, there's my practice quiz right here on my screen there, letting me know that I have a Smart Notebook file. It's ready to go. It's ready to be used. And that's how I'm going to author authoring using the import feature. Now, the next part of my show today is going to be talking about how to create your own examination if you didn't have a Word document or you didn't have examination, you're starting from scratch. So let me go back up here. I'm going to close my practice quiz that I have up here because I'm done with that one. I'm going to go to Start. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to Smart Notebook 10. I'm going to click OK. Now again, there's different ways of using or actually authoring your own tests when we do this. As I mentioned before, you can find the Smart Response piece in 3 different areas, such as the menu bar, the toolbar, and the tab. For the sake of the purpose of this show, I'm going to go ahead and use the tab feature. So I'm going to go use the tab feature to create my my examination. So I'm going to click on my tab, and it says this page has no Smart Response content, so I'm going to add content to it. And I'm going to go ahead and create an assessment, and I'm going to add a title page. Okay? And the title page is very important for you to create. A lot of times we want to say we don't want to do that, but it works in conjunction with the gradebook. So make sure we go ahead and actually, you want to go ahead and create that title page. That way it finds it within the gradebook itself. So we go back to my computer here, and I'm going to call this Practice Quiz 2. And the type of quiz, you get all these drop-down menus of assessment, exam, test, custom. That really doesn't make it only helps you to organize your examinations and things like that you create. It's really not a difference in the weighting of it that I've found out so far since using Smart Response. So I'm just going to go and just do a quiz on that. And subject, I'm going to call this Social Studies again. And I'm going to leave my topic undone. I'm going to click on Add. And so now you notice it filled out It filled out my particular pages that I had up here. As I'm looking over here, it filled everything out. And so now that I've got my title page created, I want to go ahead and add my actual questions. So I go back to my tab feature, and I'm going to go and choose, let me go to here, add a question to the next page, which is this item right there. So I'm going to click on add a question to the next page. And for some reason, I'm getting a little bit of unexpected response. So I'm going to go back up here and go to add a question to my here. There I go. And it says, what type of question would you like to insert? I'm going to go ahead and do a write-in question. I think I'm going to do that, a write-in. No, I'm going to go and do multiple choice. There I go. Click on next. Let me see, what is the capital of Texas? Now notice here as I do that, I can change the font styles that I want to go and use. I can also, if I had to do some math equations, I can also have access to all my math equations that I have there that I can go and use, my math symbols. And once I have my question done, I simply click on next and put I'll type in El Paso, I'll type in McAllen, Austin, Dallas. That's all capital letters on that one. Let's go back and change that. And Houston. I'm going to go to next. And the correct answer we know is Austin. And if I want to add an explanation, I could add that. And I click on finish. Or I can go to insert another, and I can add more and more questions as I go along. So if I insert another question, I can choose how I want that answer to be, or that question to be. I can do yes, no, multiple choice, a number, text, multiple answer, or true, false. I'm going to click on cancel. And so now I have my test ready and done. The next thing I want to go and do once my test is saved is I want to go ahead now and actually go and save this file. So again, I'm going to go to File. I can't stress that enough. File, Save As, and call this Texas History or something. And click on Save. So now when I go back down here, I have my Texas History file is there. I can open it up again, and I'm ready to use that examination. So if I wanted to, though, which is really great, is let's say I wanted to add a picture to this. I can always go to my gallery and look for Texas. And picture there. And I can simply drag and drop a picture here. And now it's ready to go ahead and to be used and viewed by your student. Of course, I'm going to click on Save again. And there I saved it. And now I've added a picture and content within my actual Smart Response Smart Notebook file. This pretty much wraps it up for our show today. In our next segments, we're going to talk about how to actually give the test, how to actually start the test and give it to our students so we can have an actual grade in our grade book. Well, see you to our next segment. Have a good day.